And a Kenyan flag belongs to the people of Kenya. It's not a government item. It's not. It's ours. When you talk of black, it's us. It's the color of our skin. When you talk of red, it's the blood shed, and we continue to shed to this moment, to this very day. And green is our land. You know. So I mean, I find it absurd for anyone to even imagine or to tell us that you can't do this. This is a preserve of a few individuals, only the leaders. These are today's Mau-Maus. When you are Mekufa, we are seated here today having this conversation here to Fungamano in their honor, because they died so that we can be here today. And one thing I want to communicate is that even with the families that we have been going to, you know, you can see that, you know, that resolve and that pride that they have when you go there with the flag and you're draping the flag over the coffin, and they say, wow, our son did not die for nothing. He didn't just die like that. He died truly fighting for this country. And when you go to the family, when you're handing over the flag, you can actually feel, you know, everyone there holding the mother, the father, the family in pride. So let it, wasitutishe hiyo tunawaambia, you know, anyone we need to hang. In other countries, people hang these flowers in their backyards. They are there on the doors. And here we are being told that if you display the flag or if you put it sijui, it's an offense. My foot, I mean, we can't have that. Wasitutishie, this is our country, and that is why we need to reclaim. For me, I'm a grassroots person. I'm not much of a talker, but you know, everyone, this is the time. Hakuna kitu yenye hatuwezi fanya. Hata kama kila mtu anataka ice cream, sasa tunaenda tunaambia serikali hiyo tax, nunulia kila mtu ice cream. I mean, you can't tell us anything. So not just the flag, everything, even the emblem. Ukitaka kuvaa kofia uweke nini, it is yours. So hiyo mambo ya kutishana, that fear is gone. When we lose our fear, thank you very much.
Gloria, same question. What is this problem with flag, and why do we have this sense of belief, and especially the security forces and the guys who run government, that they own this item, exclusively theirs?
Sorry?
They think they own this item. It's a government product.
One, we need to remember it's a symbol of this country. And if it was illegal, I think I'll be the first one in this place, Kushikwa.
Some illegalities,
I have used it, yes, I have used it as a lesson, but not necessarily, but showing my patriotism to this country. We walk around with the bracelets, the Kenyan bracelets, but it has never been a problem. Everyone in the UK, you can identify a Kenyan from one when you just see that bracelet. But right now, when we are using it at this time, it becomes a problem. Then I think we are not the problem, they are the problem, and I think they should deal with it. And this is just speaking because we see people putting the flags on their cars. Right now, they're even ashamed of putting those flags in their cars because we will flag them that tutaanguka now. So I think it is not a problem right now. And carrying your flag is patriotism. They did it very proudly, and now we are the ones saying we the people are taking it proudly, and we are carrying our flags, and let them know that we have the power in our hands. And I think one of them, the symbol, is our flag.
The same question, and I will come to the audience to get some reactions to it, and also we are doing this on Space and live on NTV as well, so we'll go to that to get your comments, and this is our conversation of the same question really about this piece of item, the flag.
Let me step back and then come back to the flag. So in a crisis, all nations have three choices. The first is to twist towards constitutionalism, the second is to twist towards authoritarianism, and then the third choice is anarchy. Now what this movement has done, it has twisted towards constitutionalism. In constitutionalism, there are things that are non-negotiable. One of the non-negotiables is the Constitution, that all our actions, all our thoughts are captured in that place that we call a Bill of Rights. And it is clear to me when I saw those crowds marching with constitutions and police officers without a single constitution among them, but with batons, I began to see the righteousness of what was happening on our streets. Consider that in a context where the state wants to disenfranchise you, the first thing it will do is it will tell you there are certain symbols of patriotism, of nationhood that do not belong to you. The flag does not belong to you. It is okay if you don't take a voter's card, or you lose your ID and don't bother to get another one, or you don't volunteer in a school clinic, in a school nearby you, or you do not volunteer in a clinic to oversee a public resource that keeps our people safe and dignified, or you don't volunteer at all. That is what a state tries to do, to remove that section in the Constitution that has expressed itself so loud in the last 3 weeks, and that is Article 1. If you do not seize this moment, not just as I think it was the president who spoke about this. If we do not seek this moment, if we do not grab this moment as a moment for the third liberation, then we are going to squander this moment more generally. So I would say to those cabinet secretaries that are waiting, that are lobbying, and perhaps if they follow the same route that they took in 2027 and 22, that are beginning to put money together to buy a cabinet secretary seat, if they do not come with new ways of working, then consider they have come to reap where they did not sow. And they are coming essentially not to build on this constitutional movement, but to take us back to a place that we did not want to do. So wear your flag. If necessary, have a flag, have an outfit made from the flag, and let's walk around with underwear, trousers, t-shirts, and jackets.
Okay, great. Let's get a reaction from space. I think Masika is online. Masika, could you tell us what your reflections of this protest were? And then I will come to the audience here to get their reflections as well.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate. I hope I'm audible enough.
You're great.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that we are having the Citizen Assembly, and one of the key things that we note clearly is that things have changed, times have changed. We are no longer in the olden days. I was listening that bit on the police and the police upholding the law, and maybe one of the things that the LSK can be helping us to know, because I think the police are enforcing the law, but they don't know the law. Because when you ask a police officer why they are arresting you, some of them clearly do not know even the procedure of arresting, whether you're a criminal or a suspect or something like that. Do they have it in their curriculum? Because these guys go in the training camps to do martial arts, to do work on how to use batons to beat up people. But when you ask a police officer to uphold the law when they are arresting you, do they have the knowledge of applying that law? So for me, that has been a question, because the problem with the police begins at the time of recruitment, because you look at even the people that the recruiters are looking for, then you clearly know that is where the rain starts beating us. Me personally, I did very well in O level, and I wanted to join the police, but I was removed from the line because I was told that I needed to go to university and study. But I needed to become a police officer, whether I started as a serviceman and then later on be promoted, but they refused because of my grade in Form 4. So one of the things that we need to push, even as right now, because our voices are being heard, and this is how it's going to be, can we have anybody, even if I got an A in Form 4 and I want to become a police officer, I be allowed to become a police officer at whatever level I'm beginning? Because we have graduates who got A's and they do not have jobs and they're doing border work. So if I got an A and I want to become a police officer, they should allow me to join the forces. Because one of the things that we are battling with is some of the guys that I'm not saying that if you scored less in Form 4 you don't have brains, but clearly the most of the people that we meet in the police and they are arresting you, you can clearly tell that they do not even have the ability to engage with you and tell you why they are arresting you. you. They just come using muscles and power. So I think the police do not have the knowledge of the same law they follow only commands that they are given. So when you say you're doing a peaceful demonstration according to Article 37 and you're not destroying any property, is that police officer who is arresting you aware that there's such Article 37 in the Constitution? Because that is where the reins begins beating us. Can we have the law, part of the law trained to the police officers who enforce the law? And then arrest, I want to think, arrest should be done in the open, and somebody should be notified, because we are having abductions and the police are picking people from the street and their homes. Can we have, if you arrest me, please allow me to notify my family members that you have arrested me and where are you taking me? So as I finish on that police thing, I think the failure of the police starts at the place where you're recruiting them, and it also continues because of the curriculum they use to train the police officers. And then when I come on the flag thing, the flag is a national symbol. The same way we sing national anthems. I have a national anthem on my phone as the ringtone. Why am I not being questioned? The Constitution, I think, is Article 9 just says national symbols. It says the coat of arms, the national anthem, the flag. It is patriotism for me to put on, like somebody is saying, I can even do an underwear showing the national flag. It is the love of my country and the symbols that represent my country. So I think on the flag thing, it's an intrusion. We can use the flag in whichever way, as long as we are not disrespecting it. We're just using it to show the love that we have for the country.
Thank you very much. I need to hand over the microphone to one person next, then I come back here. Sylvia Ngati. Sylvia, if you can take 1 minute and give us your reflection as well. Do I still have Sylvia? All right, meanwhile, let me just give the gentleman here the microphone. Please say your name, stand up, say your name and tell us what your reflections are.
Thank you very much. Comrades power. Power. Now I want us to do it a little differently. When I say people power, you say our power. People power. Our power. People power. Our power. Our power. People power. I want to make quick reflections. My name is Musila John Muisio, and I coordinate a social movement. This is the Activista movement. But I'm equally a member of the Kibera Social Justice Center. And there is a panel that came just before your panel, and these guys were speaking there, Billy, Nadia, and the other. And all they did before was to be on social media. They just used to tweet on things that pleases them. And for the first time being on social media, attracted problems to them, that they were abducted and all that. And I wanted to ask them a question, and I think I still need to ask a question to the room. Would they have seen themselves in a state that they've seen themselves, found themselves now? And the obvious answer could have been no. If it were me or Apiolal and a few others, being arrested today will not be a scare to us because we've been on the streets a number of times. Some of us have been arrested and all that. What has really happened with this movement, it has redefined what human rights defense is. This is not a career. Human rights defense is everyone's call to be an active citizen and demand service, demand accountability from its government. And so when I see young people today, every day spending every second on social media to just speak on issues of accountability from their government, I am so elated because it is no longer about a few who held the title human rights defense. But before I sit down, I want to make another just quick reflection. We've seen just the other day that the opposition joined the president to try and protect their interest. In 1975, before J.M. Kariuki was killed, he made a very simple statement that Kenya had become a country of 10 millionaires and 10 million beggars. Now today, the beggars have united against the millionaires of this country. And all they are saying, enough of you taking advantage of us. And it started very simply by rejecting the finance bill. So my last statement, smart as I sit down. The framers of the Constitution 2010, and I will read because I have posted it on my Twitter, said but a few things, that the greatest threat to liberty in Kenya is an all-powerful central government, where only a few dictate the many. We've seen what the president has done in even curtailing the powers of our National Assembly, our legislature, which is a separate wing of government that should be holding this same executive to account. And this is because he is taking us back to an all-powerful central government, which the Constitution actually is against. But they were equally very cautious to realize that the rule of the mob, which is unguided at times, will lead to anarchy and, in the end, despotism. I know as a country that respects its constitution, we really want to get there. So as we've been pushing, we are equally very cautious not to allow anyone an excuse to say, I turned this country into a military state because the mob did not want to be guided. I turned this country into a dictatorship because the mob insisted into it. So we are pushing, demanding for good governance, demanding for accountability. We are not relenting because, as always, people power is greater than the people in power. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Just give the microphone to the gentleman on a suit at the back.
Thank you. Viva, comrade, viva. Viva. Amandla. Yes. Thank you so much. Comrade, I just have an observation in form of a question. That, of course, we are doing well with the national government. But there's a group of people who are really devolved and in touch with our people, or the proletariats in the villages, back in the counties. I was saying that, comrades, let's not forget the counties. That is the people who are also interacting with our people back there in the villages. So after this struggle come from the national, we go back to the county government so that we fight this nepotism and fight for transparency and accountability. I want specifically to appreciate Aki Africa. I was there, smart, I'm traumatized up to date. This guy is so quiet, I don't know what he's using, I'm shocked. They took me to a mortuary, I ran away with this gentleman during Rex and Evans postmortem. I don't know you are made of what. All those parents were crying on their chests. I was shocked to see them still working. I was shocked on the hardest day of the strike. You know, on Thursday, few people came. Among the few who came, and Shakira and the rest, now to notify us and to get us very, very easy on Thursday. I remember those guys were going to an extent of tear gassing where people were being treated. You are just wondering, what kind of human being is this? This is a place where people are now being treated, please. And they're even going ahead to tear gas a petrol station. We are at the corner of the total there. It was quite unfortunate. Please, comrades, the question I wanted to ask with care and with utmost humility, how can we organize this struggle in a way that we don't lose the gains made and we don't lose the focus? Because if we end up in the morning, someone is saying we fight for this, fight for that, fight for this, fight for positions, then we are going to lose this focus, and these guys are going to run away with all the gains that we have done, what? We have made. So I was just pleading with those in the panel, if you can guide the conversation to a clear focus. Because now there are also political rivals who are taking advantage of this thing. Like someone is planning to vie for 2027. What is the next thing? 20 to Salami and Ani. You are getting, not for the struggle, but for the narrow, self-seeking interest. That was my plea. Otherwise, Aki Africa, may God bless you. And I'm pleading, colleagues who are seated there, how can you debrief? I'm a teacher by profession. Some people who came for the struggle didn't even know the road. I was shocked, someone asking me, amefika Ngara anauliza wapi barabara ya kuenda Kabete. You can tell you. When we are taking that roundabout to Nyayo, wale waliangusha fence, those who are falling down, wale waliona, they are still, I still feel the smell of blood mpaka saizi. So how can we debrief these people by counseling them? Because some people may also turn violent after this one. Because some wengine wako wamezoea that kind of